All right, so this is an introduction to doing the push-up. If you cannot do a bunch of good push-ups from the floor, here are ways to make it easier and how to improve that so you can progress to the floor and be knocking out a bunch of push-ups from the floor at your own body weight. First thing, you go through the tutorial below. So just below this, you're gonna find there's a tutorial where I go over all the basics from keeping a tight core to where your elbows should be at. You should watch that first, but then if you need an easier progression, this is where you start. So first thing I would talk about is adding a box. Using a box, the higher the box, the easier the push-up. So if I set up at the box, everything's the same, just like I was on the floor, but doing that push-up from the box is gonna be easier than doing the push-up from the floor. If you're starting from a box, but you can't quite get your chest all the way to the box, I like to use a yoga block. It's just a few inches wide, and then you can do a push-up to the edge of the block. Everything stays the same, so your core is tight, your elbows are at 45 degrees, but the block is gonna make it so you can still do high quality reps, so really good repetitions, just through a limited range of motion. So once you get to the point where you can do 10 to 12 reps to a block, we're gonna ditch the block. And then we're gonna be working our way up from 5 all the way through 10 to 12 again, going to the box. Once you can do 10 to 12 from the box, you can lower your box. And eventually, if you start at a big 24-inch box, you can go to a 12, then you could go to the floor. So what I like to do is, if I'm doing sets of 10 to 12 on my push-up with a client, you could, at the end of the set, throw in what are called negatives. These are super useful and they're super effective at developing your push-up strength. So you'd set up from the floor now. Even if you can't do a perfect push-up from the floor, set up in the push-up position, and you're gonna lower yourself slowly all the way to the floor. And that's all you have to do. You only have to practice the way going down on the push-up. So count, I like to aim for 5 seconds, so anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds. Err on the side of going long, so 5 seconds on the way down. And you would just repeat that. 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just get your way back to the top of the position, and then just repeat it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I did, let's say 10 reps from a box, and then I did a bunch of negatives on top of it at the end of each set, that's gonna make me so much better at push-ups a lot faster. Those are a couple of ways that you can progress the push-up. And then once you've kind of progressed to the point where you can get a handful of good push-ups in, I would jump into the push-up challenge I have below. That's one way that you can progress your push-up really quickly in just 30 days. So the only way to get really good at something or better at something is to practice that thing. So if you want to do better at push-ups, start doing a bunch of push-ups. The 3,000 rep challenge right below this is basically 100 push-ups a day. And if you do 3,000 in a month, you will be exponentially better at push-ups at the end of your month. And so now if you're finding yourself doing your push-ups and starting to have form breakdown, if your elbows are flaring, we have those specific issues that we address below. So check those out if you find that your elbows are flaring, or if your belly is drooping, or you can't quite get your chest all the way to the floor. Watch those videos. We'll see you later.